smile that makes the sun rise. You make it shine, but I can see that you don't realize, and that's what made me fall in love. 'Cause you got style, the way your body makes my heart beat sound. It's amazing all the time. You are the only thing I need in life. Oh, I want you. Can't you see? I want you. I believe, 'cause I want you. Here with me, I'm gonna go crazy. I'm gonna go crazy for love. I look at you and know it's alright. You read my mind, but I can see that you don't realize, and that's what made me fall in love. 'Cause you got style, the way your body makes my heart beat sound. It's amazing all the time. You are the only thing I need in life. Oh, I want you. Can't you see? I want you. I believe, 'cause I want you. Here with me, I'm gonna go crazy. I'm gonna go crazy for love. I don't need another love. Yeah. We do this every day. We do this love for life. You got a smile that makes the sun rise. You make it shine, but I can see that you don't realize, and that's what made me fall in love. 'Cause you got style, the way your body makes my heart beat sound. It's amazing all the time. You are the only thing I need in life. Oh, I want you. Can't you see? I want you. I believe, 'cause I want you. Here with me, I'm gonna go crazy. I'm gonna go crazy for love.
Welcome in, everyone, to this week's episode of the Clubhouse Chaotic Chat. You know it and love it as the Triple C Show. Can you believe we are on episode 90? 90 episodes. This is amazing. We'll be coming up on the 100 soon. You'll have to stay tuned for details on that. Today, as you can tell, I am not Pete McDevitt. I am Monorail Mollie. I am here with you tonight. We have a great show planned. With us tonight is the soon-to-be Miss Stephanie Kiel. Also with us tonight, bringing the beautiful giggles with her, is T Marie's Place. Not with us tonight, and spending some cherished time with their family, is Angela. And we all know Pete is park hopping with all the family and friends down at our happiest place on earth. Want to take a moment and remind you to go ahead and like the stream, subscribe to the channel, leave a comment. Our guests always love to go back and read all the comments. Also, reminder to subscribe to the Triple C Instagram page. If you're not liking it, you need to like it. Mods, if you can go ahead and drop those links, that would be great. Let me go ahead and bring our lovely ladies on the screen. Here we are. Hello. Hello, Tina, Steph. Here we go. Another episode without our OTC leader. I hope we can live up to it. What do you think?
Yeah, we got this.
Ladies rule tonight. Tina, hello. How are you doing? How was your weekend?
Weekend's just ducky. Glad to be here.
Ducky. Quack, quack.
Yep, exactly. Just glad to be here.
Awesome. Awesome. Kids are still in school, though, aren't they?
Until the 24th.
You got a few more quiet days ahead of you to enjoy. So that's pretty cool.
I just want to sleep in at this point.
Stephanie, somebody who's not in school anymore. Hello.
Yay! Hello.
What's new in the Stephanie and Paul world?
Well, Stephanie and Paul world is trying to find a house, and we just set up some excursions for our trip, so that's fun. We're gonna snorkel and go down river tubing, and I forgot what else. Oh, shopping. Yeah, I have to have shopping and tasting like wine and nutmeg and some other spices from the spice islands. So we'll see.
Sounds like a great time. That's just going to be amazing for you guys. Looking forward to that for you.
Thanks.
Awesome. We want to welcome in our chat because without you, we wouldn't have a show. So let's see who's doing our chat today. Steph, you want to go ahead and welcome in all of our friends?
I will. All right. So good evening to Spaceship Ears, to Dave's Disney Dreams, to Jennifer Caruso, to Mandy, Mary, to Debbie Bernfeld. Hello to Cakes. Hello to Paul Engel. Hello to Vicki Gillespie. Hello to Theo Sam Eagle. Hello to a new member of ours, Karen E. Welcome in to Pete McDevitt. He was at the very beginning of chat, if you saw he was in there. Movie Mania Nick, hello. William Versiglio, hello. Lila Rose, we're always happy when you're here. Hello to Ryan Rowe, Dave Strahan, Miss Cherie from South Carolina, Surfer Girl 326, Coasty with the Quad Zeros, Jill Walkbrick, and Jason Thibodeau. Oh, now we have some other folks that are hopping in. Molly's mom is here. We've got Ghost Host here. We've got Christian Sanchez. We have Walt from Mouse Talk. We have Dorena Gibson. And I might be caught up. Let's see. Did you guys see anybody else I missed? I think.
Lots of friends in here tonight.
Yeah. So if I didn't catch you yet, I'll catch you next time.
Sounds great. Sounds great. Now, last week's show, wasn't that a great one? So it was emotional. It was funny. It was heartwarming. It was everything that we love this Triple C show to be. So Tina, you want to go ahead and give us a recap of last week?
Absolutely. Last week, our guest, Miss Leanne Sherbick, delighted viewers with her sass, humor, and genuine authenticity, always ready to help everyone she connects with in the community. Her passion and knowledge for Disney facts are vast, and if you need help with planning your next Disney trip or cruise, you can reach her at Mickey Travels. Remember that Leanne's services are free to you because she is paid through Disney, and I did not know that. I learned that last week.
Awesome. Free.
We learned that she is a mom with a son who is actively serving in the military and what that means to her as a mother. And finally, the Disney Community OG shared with us her encounter with Disney Imagineer Bob Weiss, among so many other stories that you have to go back to last week's show. If you missed it, you got to watch it. You will not be disappointed. It was such a great one. If you want to leave a comment on the show with your thoughts on the interview, and if the mods could drop the links to last week's show and the Triple C playlist, that would be great. Also on podcast form as well. So, Steph?
Yes. So tonight, this week's guest, I'll give you a little bit of information here. She has strong connections to our beloved Disney community here on YouTube. She's a supporter of this channel and so many others. Our guest is an honored inductee to the Disney YouTube Hall of Fame, and she's in the Park Pals class with the character of Pirate Red. She's a hardworking lawyer, upholding justice and advocating for others by day, in a bright, positive light in the Disney chats by night. Joining us in just a few minutes for the very first time live on YouTube is your friend and mine, Miss Julie McCowan. Yes.
I am so excited
about that.
I'm so excited. You know, it's one of those names you always see in the chat, but you never really see a face. So now we're finally going to be able to make that connection tonight. Really looking forward to that. We'll bring her in here in a few minutes. But first, we have an item of business that we must tend to, and that is our fun question of the day. So this question is going to be the same question for all of us. and we will all give our answers. And I'm excited to hear what these answers are going to be. So the question of the night is, we are all blessed to have been born in this country. If you could have been born in a country other than the USA, which would it be and why? And I encourage the chat to go ahead and put their answers in. We'd love to see what your answer to the question is. What country, if you weren't born in the US, what country would you have wanted to have been born in? So Tina, why don't you start us off and tell us, what country do you think you would have wanted to have been from?
I guess I'm going to go back to my roots, my ancestors. Scotland is one of them. Descendant from King James of Scotland. I was once told that is not something to brag about, but I think it's something special. Heritage, and I love proud USA, USAan, proud American. But I just think it's cool.
Did you say USAan?
I did. But if not Scotland,
USAan.
proud USAan. If not Scotland, then either Ireland or England, Italy. All those my heritage, but yeah, or Japan. Japan's another great one. I love all things Japanese too.
So we are actually in the presence of royalty.
Yeah.
No.
I think
nope. He wasn't a
He
good
wants
king.
to be from Zimbabwe.
Would that make you like a queen or a duchess or a princess? What does that qualify you as?
I'll take princess.
Princess Tina of her own world. I don't know.
Exactly.
Let's see. What do we have here in the chat? Let's look at some in the chat. We have Dorina Gibson says France, Mark F. Canada, Switzerland. Oh, Mars says Switzerland. Debbie Bernfeld says Spain. That's where her ancestors are from. Very cool. Who else? Oh, Paul Engel's just questioning USAN. It's new. Go with it.
Did you see Pete's in there?
I see that Pete's in there. Pete would want to be from Zimbabwe because, you know, he's not hot enough in the parks right now. He wishes he was in Africa. I think that's why he says Zimbabwe. He wants more heat. We got another one. It seems like the ancestors is a popular thing here. We got Ireland. If you haven't put in the chat, we'd love to see it. Go ahead and put in the country that you wish you would have been born in if you weren't born in the US. So Stephanie, why don't you go ahead and tell us, what country would you have wanted to been from?
If I could have chosen, I probably would choose Finland, because that is another ancestry thing for my family as well. And I grew up always wanting to live in a hot culture. My dad was from Miami in Florida, and I went to visit there all the time, and I was always cold up in North Carolina. So I just wanted to live somewhere where it was hot. And I just said that all the time, you know. And now that I'm older, you know, I don't really enjoy sweating as much. So I think maybe my ancestry is coming to full bloom, and maybe I'm supposed to be living in a cold country. I'm just thinking. I don't know. Maybe, you know, that's what it is. I don't know. Maybe I haven't seen enough snow. I should move to the west side of Ohio, possibly, and
the west coast of Ohio.
Yeah, the west coast, because I bet you get a lot of like ocean snow there and stuff. So
we do, you know, being on the west coast. There's always something.
Thinking.
Yeah, west coast of Ohio.
Yeah, that might fill up my Finland desire, but I don't know. We can see.
Well, I'm going to go ahead and carry on the common ground of ancestry, and that's why I didn't read Molly's mom's comment when I was going through the chat, because I think we would come from the same place then, and that would be Poland. That's where I'm 3/4 Poland, you know, 3/4 Polish. So, and my mom is 100% Polish. So yeah, Poland would be it. Just to love to see where they came from and how they lived. And yeah, I think that would be a good thing. I I can't really think of any other
Do you
country.
tend to
that
like the foods from that country too?
Well, we grew up on that. So pierogies and kibasi and sauerkraut and all that yummy stuff. Stuffed cabbage. Oh my gosh. We're actually having
I've had that
stuffed
before.
cabbage for dinner tonight. So
Oh,
so there you go. Yeah.
ask your mom if she can pack some up and bring it to the meetup. I'd love to try some of her stuffed cabbage.
Yeah,
Okay.
and the great thing about like your ancestral food, it just gives you that nice warm feeling of the old days, like when you're growing up and grandma's in the kitchen. And Tina, I'm sure your grandma was doing that. Your grandma
All the
was a little
Italian food.
spitfire.
Yep.
Yep. So
Stuffed
so I
cabbage.
think that was the common thing, ancestry that pretty much follows for all of us. So that was a really good question. Thank you, Stephanie. It really got us
Oh, you're welcome.
thinking about that. So that was awesome. And thank you, chat, for participating. You can still go ahead and put in your comments in the chat, or if you want to leave a comment on the video, that would be great too. We love to go back and read all of the comments. So without further ado, though, we want to move on in this interview. We want to bring our guest on screen. And our guest tonight, this is it. This is her first time live. You're all witnessing history. Here we go. Julie McCowan.
Hi, everyone.
Hi, Julie.
Let me go ahead and make you big.
Oh.
No, not me. You. There we go.
Hey, Julie.
Hi, everyone.
Hi. Thanks for joining us tonight.
Thank you so much for having me.
That's awesome. We love to have you here. We love meeting people in the community. And this is such a historic event. I'm glad we're here to witness it.
Yes.
Thank you.
You've seen her in the chat. You've seen her name. Now you see her face for the first time. Everyone put hearts in the chat for our guest, Julie McCowan. Tina, why don't you go ahead and start us off?
All right, I think I will. All right, so Miss Julie, every week we ask our creators to give us just a short overview about themselves, nothing too in depth. For those that might just be meeting you, getting to know you a little bit better for the first time, just give us a brief synopsis about Miss Julie.
Thanks. I'd love to. So my name is Julie McCowan. I am an attorney, I'm in my office. I was working today, as you can see from the law books that we don't actually use anymore. I have 5 children, a wonderful husband. We've been married for over 30 years. I live in Michigan. All of my children are grown. They're all adults, so that's wonderful. And I have 4 grandchildren, 6, 3, 2, and almost 1.
Oh, that's awesome. I love that. All right. So now, can you talk to us about your story of how you arrived to the Disney YouTube community? How'd you find us?
Yeah, so I first found Dis and Dat on Wednesday nights. At the time, I was working as what's called a guardian ad litem. So that's the eyes and the ears for the judge. When there's a petition in probate court, they send someone out, which the court appoints someone, what's called a guardian ad litem. I'm the eyes and the ears, go out and visit with people. Really terrible, sad stories, go to nursing homes a lot. And anyways, it was very stressful, and I was going to court a lot as well at that time. So it was court motion call is on Wednesday mornings. And so I had maybe 4 or 5 court hearings every Wednesday morning. And it was always very stressful. And so it was just trying to find something that would help me forget and just give me some laughs and bring me that Disney magic. And so I stumbled upon Dis and Dat, and then they were involved with the Beverly Challenge. And that's how I saw everybody else.
Mm-hmm.
And so Pete was there, and just all kinds of different social media content creators. And then I just started following everybody at that point.
That's awesome. That's a great story. I think a lot of us came together around the time of the Beverly Challenge. I'm one of them. We found Resort TV one, and then Myers and the Mouse. Disneyland. So yeah, I love hearing about people's stories too. All right, I'm going to do a little transfer over to Steph. Steph, before you get to your questions, do we have anybody new that came in?
We do. We have a list. So hold on to your horses. Let's say hello to Miss Ellie. Let's say hello to Amigo One. Lamons Gray. We have Dean the Turkey Legster. We've got Gloria Thibodeau. We have Mr. John A.B. We've got Regina Erie, who's looking beautiful tonight. We have Puddles at the theme park. We have fans of the Green Bay Packers. We have Plymouth Rock, Melissa from Mouse Talk. We have Doug here from Zippity Doo Dah. And we have the Curtis family. And we have Miss Mar in Memphis. We have Mark F. We have Kelsey Elizabeth joining us tonight and Aaron Herwig. So there is our next list. How's that? I think I got everybody. If I didn't, I'll catch you on the next time. So tonight I'd like to begin, Julie, by first asking you about some people in your life who have influenced your journey as a Disney fan and how they were influential. Can you tell us about your grandparents, your mom, and your aunt?
Yeah, I would love to. So my first visit was with my parents, and my sister was 3, so it was 1977 we went. And then a little bit after that, my grandparents moved to Winter Haven, and they were snowbirds. I grew up in Buffalo, New York. And so my grandparents loved Disney. They would take all of us kids to Disney. We would go to River Country. We would go to every park that opened in Florida. We would go visit, and we would go soon after it had opened. And so my mom and my aunt would almost every spring break or winter break would drive us in a big giant van. It's in the 70s. All the way down to Florida to go visit with my grandparents. We'd stay with them, and then we would go to Disney World. And so I have a lot of great memories of my grandparents there. And one of the one of the most important things to me about Magic Kingdom and Epcot is it's one of the only places that I can actually go that's relatively the same as when I was there with my grandparents, and who are gone now. And it's a very sentimental place, and very, I can feel my grandparents there, and just those treasured memories.
Oh, that's awesome. Jennifer says she remembers River Country too and loved it there.
Yeah.
Yeah, I forgot about that until you mentioned it. So that's great. It is nice to be able to go somewhere that didn't change too much. It does change some, but your memories are still tied into the park. So it's really awesome.
Right. And Main Street doesn't change that much. I mean, I don't feel like it's changed at all. And that's where I have a really great memories of sitting with my grandparents on Main Street and watching the nighttime electric parade, and just having really great memories of that time with them.
Oh, what a great thing to be able to treasure in your heart. So are there any comical Disney stories or memories that you might have that our viewers might want to hear?
Yeah, so my grandfather was so funny, and he was always funny up until he passed away. I remember doing more things with him than with my grandmother, but I was probably middle school age, and we were waiting. It was just him and I. We were waiting to get into some venue, and we were sitting in the lobby area, and they had the rope there, and everybody was sitting in the seats like against the wall, benches against the wall. My grandfather whispered to me, he goes, "Watch this, follow me." And so he walked slowly, and he was pretty old at that point, slowly walked up to the rope. And all these people just surrounded us. We're all waiting at the rope. Like my grandfather knew something that no one else knew. But anyways, it was so funny that just to see all those people just follow him Like
Yes.
he knew what he was doing, and we were not even in the first row. We were like 4 people back. So anyways, it was really funny. He always had a joke and liked to talk to cast members, and was just always funny.
Oh, that's awesome. He was really wise to know that he could get the whole crowd up there if you went up there. So that was awesome.
He
I hope
did.
I hope the rope dropped soon after that. So,
I think it did. I think it did. Yeah.
yeah. Oh, sweet. All right. I'm going to transfer you over to Miss Jen now, who has a few other questions for you.
Yep. So, as you all are aware, this channel acknowledges our friends and family members who have served our country in the military. Pete is very supportive of that. He's always recognizing that. It's very close to our hearts here on Pete's channel. Can you share with us, with our viewers, how you contributed by serving in the military yourself?
Sure. So I joined the military in 1993. I'm aging myself. And went to boot camp, basic training for the Army. And I was in college at the time. And I decided I wanted to do the reserves of the National Guard. So I did that, and then ended up meeting who's my husband now. And we got married in 1994. And the year before we got married, he was in Korea. But 1994, we got married. And then I kind of just followed him around. So while I was still in school, we were at Fort Campbell, Kentucky. And then I ended up finishing my undergraduate degree in social work there. But I was in a unit in Tennessee. I was in Pennsylvania unit before we got married, in the National Guard. And then when we finally moved to Germany, I actually joined a reserve unit in Germany, Kaiserslautern, Germany. And that was a lot of fun. So I experienced not only being a service member, but also being a spouse of a service member. So it's interesting to have both sides of the experience.
Wow, that's amazing. And you were in Germany. Tell us a little bit about that. I'm sorry, I'm going off script a little bit.
Yeah.
What was different being in Germany versus being stationed, here in the US?
Well, let me step back 1 minute. When so we lived in Baumholder, Germany. That's where my husband was stationed. And at that time, I was finishing up my undergraduate degree, and I did my clinical there, actually in the social work unit in Baumholder with all the military people. So I did that as well. One of the strange things about being in Germany, of course, everybody speaks German. When I was in a reserve unit, almost all of the men, because there's very few women that was in the area that I was in, the units that I was in, they were all married to German women. So that's why they were there. So they were attached to that reserve unit, but they were also married to German women. So they would just end up that's most people were, that's how they ended up getting in there. Anyway, so they all spoke German. And I did not.
Oh, no.
And so we were getting ready for one detail to go out in the field, and it was a communication. So they had like the phones. And so they had called me once. It was like the travel phones, and started speaking German to me. And I was like panicked, and I just hung up. But anyways, they would like harass me all the time, and I would get back to them, so whatever. One of the other things that's funny is when living in Germany at the time when we were there, there was a lot of conflict. So we would see a lot of fighter jets flying over Baumholder, Germany. We would also see a lot of artillery, which is also like a little bit alarming. It was beautiful because it kind of looks like fireworks, right? But also alarming to like, okay, I almost swear, like they're preparing to go out and do something. So that was, it was a really great time of my life. my kids have not been back to Germany, but, my husband and I are still really involved with military Veterans Affairs and whatnot. So.
Mm-hmm. And how many years did you serve yourself?
I was 8 years.
Wow. That's amazing.
And then we had 2 of our daughters there in Germany. So they were born in Landstuhl, Germany, which is the biggest hospital, military hospital outside of the continental United States.
Wow.
Typically, that's where they fly soldiers. When something happens in the Middle East or somewhere else, they fly them into there for treatment. So I had 2 of my daughters there. The joke in the military is in Germany, you come home with one of 3 things: a divorce, a shrunk. A shrunk is like a big giant closet, because in Germany they don't have closets. You have to buy like a big giant, it's kind of like an entertainment center, but it's a closet, or a baby. And I came home with 2 babies. So there you go.
You hit the jackpot.
No shrunk for me. I wanted one, but my husband didn't buy me one. So.
Oh, I love those stories. Thank you so much for sharing that. Coming from a military family myself, I love hearing military stories. So thank you for sharing that with us. We're going to go right into our fun segment here, and we're going to flip the switch here on Julie, and we're going to ask her the same question, although maybe we're going to know the answer. I don't know. If you could have chosen to be born in another country other than the USA, which one would it have been and why? And I encourage the chat, if you weren't with us the first time around, go ahead and put that country in the chat. Let us know where you would have wanted to have been born. Okay, Julie, tell us.
Spain. I'm not Spanish. I'm 50% Italian. My dad actually was born in Italy and was adopted. But I've traveled to Spain 2 years in a row, and it is just the siesta, duh.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah.
Why don't we do that?
But the food, the landscape, the Canary Islands, which are part of Spain, the architecture is just amazing. It's just so beautiful. We went to Tenerife, which is one of the Canary Islands, and it was a place that I had never, it looked like another world. Literally looked like another world. And then we went to La Palma, and I don't know if anybody's ever watched the Netflix miniseries La Palma. It is about the volcano erupting. And thank God I didn't see that in that series before we went, because we actually did see a volcano, and it was actually still active, and just amazing. Just amazing. We traveled on the one road highway where you can't stop because there's still toxic fumes. It erupted, I think, in 2021 or 22. And we saw a house on the hill. It was like a stucco house, still standing, but it was completely filled with ash. So like there was no windows. You could see where the windows were, but it was just all filled up with ash. And my husband had said, "Oh, look at that. They had a volcano erupt 3 years ago, but the roads are better than their highways are better than Michigan's highways."
Oh gosh.
Anyways, yeah, it was beautiful. The food is phenomenal. So yeah.
Nice. And part of me thought you were going to say Germany. So hey, joke's on me.
I can see the Italian in you, though, for sure.
Before we head over to Tina for our drink of the week, Steph.
Yes.
You want to update us with any new friends that have joined us?
Yes. So welcome into Timothy Rainwaters, Renee Molina, Aliens Wear Green Hats, and Fred O'Malley. So welcome in, guys.
Hello, friends. Okay, Tina, let's do this. Drink of the week.
I am excited for this. Julie's drink of the week. First, I want to give a shout out to the Violet Sake because that was Julie's first choice, but we had it last week. So she was so gracious enough to swap over to, I'm assuming, her second favorite. Really excited because I don't think I knew about these, and it's the wine flights from the Germany Pavilion at Epcot. Shout out to Disney Food Blog for the pictures, and shout out to Jen for throwing this together for us last minute. You are a rock star. You and Steph are both rock stars. Thank you guys so much. So this is made up from 3 choices of wines that are 2 ounces each. And I guess I want to know, Julie, what entices you about this? Tell us about it.
So when we lived in Germany, we lived in an area, before we moved there, I thought everything was beer, Oktoberfest. But the actual area that we lived in, Riesling was more plentiful than anything else. We also did a lot of like wine tours, and actually driving from where we lived to Trier, Germany, there was like a 900-year-old vineyard, like grapes, like just grapes that were there. Like that vineyard had been established 900 years ago, which was amazing to me. So anyways, I fell in love with Riesling, but I really fell in love with ice wine, the dessert wines. It's phenomenal. It's like butter, if you like sweet wine. But that just really reminds me of the time that we lived in Germany and all of my fond memories. So I really do enjoy my wine as well, and definitely love a good ice wine.
That's awesome. All right, I wanna ask the ladies, because I know I've never had this, but ladies, have you guys ever had the wine flights in the Germany Pavilion? Steph.
I have not, but the ice wine sounds fabulous, with the whole I need to be cold thing. So I think I would definitely like that if it could keep my temperature down.
Oh, that was perfect. That was perfect. Jen, how about you?
I have not tried them, but I think that if I did, I would go for those dessert wines. Yeah, I think I would probably enjoy those the most.
Those all sound amazing.
Yeah.
Oh, absolutely. All right, and I would too. I would dive right in, 100%. All right, Steph, do we have, before you go to your next segment, do we have anybody that came in that you want to greet?
We have Amy from AJC Magic TV in the chat now, so welcome in. And I don't know if Jen wants to acknowledge Peter's latest chat.
We can do that.
Like to
Before we
comment?
move on, we can. Mr. McDevitt says, point of parliamentary procedure. Doug is advised he's going to sue me. I want to let you know now that I want to counter. Please negotiate with yourself. Thank you.
The thing is, no one has sent me any money. I don't do anything for free. Like, send me your retainer, then I might think about it.
There you go. There's your answer. Hey, if you guys like what you're hearing tonight, this has been a great interview so far. Go ahead and hit that like button. We're just a few away from 100. That would really be great if we got there tonight to show support for our guests. So go ahead and take a moment. Double check now. Even if you thought you did it, double check. Did you hit the like? Go ahead and do it. All right. I said what I had to say. Go ahead, Steph.
Paul's saying that Pete needs some retainers. He needs to do that first before Julie's going to speak. Okay. Show her the money, man. All right. So, Julie, first off, which Disney parks around the world have you been blessed to visit during your life? And then secondly, can you share with us some of your most magical or unexpected moments you might have had at any of these parks?
Sure, I'd love to. So I've been to all of Disney World numerous times since 1977. Every few years we would go. I went to Disneyland in 2023 with 3 of my grandkids and my daughter-in-law, my stepson. So that was wonderful. Loved Disneyland. I think I hate to say this, would have loved it more if the grandkids weren't there because I would have been able to do more of what I wanted. I hate to say that, but I would like to go back. It was wonderful to really experience that with them as well. So it was a blessing to experience that with them, but also would have liked to do more kind of me stuff, or me and my husband. But anyways, so did that, and then went to Disneyland Paris in 2000.
Awesome. Any experiences there that were
Yeah,
most
thanks.
magical or?
Yeah, so it was, I'm trying to think, 2007. My entire family and my entire extended family. So my aunt, that we would always go to Disney World with, my mom, all of my cousins. So there's 4 cousins, all of their significant others and their children, all of my siblings and their children and significant others. We all went and spent Christmas Day. It was an extended trip, but we had Christmas Day at Disney World, at Magic Kingdom. And so I was on the ride, waiting in the ride for Aladdin with my kids. And I was explaining to my kids, sharing with them, when I was one of my first trips with my parents, I begged for one of those invisible dogs, the invisible dog leash, if anybody remembers those.
Yep.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh my
Yeah,
gosh, I had one.
Yes, I wanted one so desperately, but they don't care. I would probably buy one now if they had it, but they now I have a real dog, so I guess not. But anyways, I wanted that, but I also wanted a balloon, the traditional like clear balloon with the Mickey head in the inside. And I was telling them, and I was like, yeah, my mom, they call her Nani. I'm like, Nani, and they just, taking 4 kids to Disney World was not cheap. Plus they're not like big in souvenirs. So anyways, so the cast member that was running the ride must have overheard my conversation and came over to me, was when they were doing magical moments, and gave me a coupon for a balloon. And so it was the best Christmas, one of the best Christmas gifts I've ever received in my entire life.
Wow.
It just was full circle, and that's what makes Disney wonderful. I mean, transported directly back to when I was a little girl with my parents, with my grandparents there, and just got to enjoy a balloon.
Yeah, but the magic is that somebody heard that and went and did that for you to fulfill that dream of something you didn't get as a kid from Disney. Oh, I think
right, because I could have bought it myself, but I was like, it was amazing.
Oh, I have goosebumps. To shave my legs over again. I can feel when you get goosebumps and your hair stands up and you're like, I just shaved. Why does it feel like I need to do it again? Sorry. Stuff just comes out all the time.
Reeling it back in.
Reeling it back in. Reeling it back. But thank you for sharing that. That just shows you that the CMs, they're there for to make dreams come true, hopefully, as much as they can for us when we're at the parks. So I think that is a super special gift. I can't think of anything better. That's awesome. I do want to say hello to Rob, UK Disney Dad, Tiki Man fan. And we've got Kofa Creative Studios with us now, and Mr. Mark Langenkamp. And, Mark, you definitely need to go back and listen to Julie's part about being in the military. So if you weren't here earlier, anybody who hasn't done that should go back and check that out too. I have one other question for you about Disney festivals. Which ones do you enjoy the most, and what do you like about them?
So Festival of the Holidays, 100%. I love just the sight, sounds, and smells of Christmas. I also love the international experience because I love to travel and love to just experience different cultures. So I love that. Festival of the Arts, been to that, and I love, we actually went January 2020 before everything closed down. I love that it's interactive. It was fun to paint the little squares with my adult children. So that was a lot of fun. I love that it was interactive. Flower and Garden, I love the quilt. And I've never been to the Food and Wine, which I love food and I love wine. So I don't know why I haven't gone yet.
Well, they have it during the hottest months of the year. That might be why. I don't know. That would be why. I wouldn't be there. But yeah. Well, that's great. Thank you for sharing those. I'm going to throw it over to Jen, who is going to ask you about some of your channel suggestions.
Yep, everyone knows that we ask enhancers and creators of the community to share with us content that they love. So tonight we're going to talk with Julie about 3 of her most impressive channels that she follows. The first one is Dollar Tree Dinners. The next one is Battleground Biscuits. And the third one is Zippity Doo Dug. So Julie, why don't you go ahead and tell us what you love so much about this channel, Zippity Doo Dug?
I love Zippity Doo Dug. I love Coffee Talk. I have made myself his unofficial censor, not really for Doug, but more for Steve, Scallywag Steve, reminding them of him of Inside Thoughts. But honestly, they just are so funny. Every morning, I look forward to listening to them, either on my way to court or while I'm in the office. It just brightens my day, makes me laugh, and I truly miss when he's not streaming.
Mm-hmm.
And sometimes I'm even walking my dog. A lot of the times I'm walking my dog listening. So it's how I start my day. So I just love Zippity Doo Dug and Coffee Talk.
Yep, that Coffee Talk. That is a great way to start the day. And thank you, Debbie Bernfeld, for dropping the links in for all of these creators that we're highlighting now. Let's move on to Battleground Biscuits. Haven't heard of this channel. What do you like about the Battleground Biscuits?
So we stay at Shades of Green. So that is our resort. Our home resort is what I like to say. We're not DVC members, but I say that is our home resort. Shades of Green is a resort for military people, and there is not a lot of resources besides Battleground Biscuits. So they're a military family, and Ashley and Tim, the husband is the spouse, the military member. Ashley is the spouse, and they have a little girl, Story. She gives you all kinds of tips, updates on staying at Shades of Green, of the ticket prices, of just all of the information that you would need if you're a military member or a retiree or a veteran, disabled veteran, of how to stay there. Just all of the great information that you would need regarding this Shades of Green.
That's awesome. I never knew that channel existed. We also do Shades of Green. That would be considered our home resort. And I didn't know about this channel. So thank you. I'm going to be subscribing right away. Let's move on to your third choice, which is Dollar Tree Dinners. This sounds exciting. Tell us about this channel.
I am addicted to Rebecca's Dollar Tree Dinners. First of all, she has like a therapeutic voice. Second of all, she truly does Dollar Tree Dinners, and the way she presents it is it's not a challenge, but it's really embracing some food deserts, and perhaps no one else, they might not have, someone lives like this and might not have another resource to go to the grocery store or is on a very strict budget. And I'll tell you what, I hate going to the grocery store, and if I can pick something up at the Dollar Tree and whip up some dinner, I'm going to do that. It's right around the corner from my house. She does like fast food dupes sometimes, or what does she call them? Replications. She also does a lot of homemade. So like making flour tortillas, she'll teach you how to do that. With just raw ingredients. She has a really great no need overnight rustic bread recipe that I use weekly. So check her out. She's really great. I don't know her, but I love her content. So
I love that. That's so interesting. Some new channels there that we have to check out. That's great. Tina, I think we're going to do a line of questioning with our attorney here. But first, before we start, wait, Tina, I can't hear you. Are you muted?
No, I didn't say anything. I was just silently guessing.
Oh, I thought you were talking, but I wasn't hearing anything. Sorry. Steph, has anybody joined us? Let's do that real quick.
Not at the moment. So
okay.
we're all caught up right now.
Awesome. Well, thank you everyone for being here. Don't forget to hit that like button. Okay, Tina, line of questioning for our attorney.
All right. I love this segment. We're going to have a little bit of Disney fun. I'm going to say something to you, Julie, and you're going to throw your answer back at me. You ready? Okay.
Yes.
Favorite underrated Disney movie?
Fox and the Hound.
Nice. Favorite Disney snack?
Churros.
Favorite Disney song?
Whole New World. It's 1993. I met my husband then. It's just such a romantic, song about other worlds and yeah.
And love. I love it. All right. Favorite park?
Epcot.
Yes. Favorite resort?
Shades of Green.
Mhm.
100%.
Favorite restaurant?
Chef Mickey's. I have so many fond memories. It's our first, even though the food isn't like super great, but that's what was our tradition. Was the first night we would arrive, we would have dinner at Chef Mickey's. So I have a lot of fond memories from when I was little to having my kids to having grandkids. So
I love that. And did you hear that, Pete? Chef Mickey's is on the Contemporary. Anyways, sorry, inside thing. Favorite Disney princess?
Belle, because she loves to read.
Love that. Favorite villain?
None. I do not like the villains at all.
Wow.
I don't like the villains.
That's true.
Okay, that's a first. All right. Favorite land in the parks?
The World Showcase.
Okay. Favorite character?
Edna Mode.
Oh, yes.
Nice.
I never look back, darling. It distracts me from the now.
It's a beautiful
That's
quote.
awesome.
Oh, favorite nighttime show of all
Happily Ever
time?
After.
Okay.
Happily Ever After.
Awesome. Favorite Disney parade of all time?
Mickey's Once Upon a Time Christmas Time Parade. I loved that they would pipe out the smell. That was amazing.
Oh,
On Christmas Day, that's what they did anyway.
That's awesome. All right, last one. Favorite Disney sidekick?
Nana. I grew up with St. Bernards.
Yes.
Oh,
I love
She's
that.
so forgotten. I love that you mentioned
Yes.
her.
yes.
Oh,
My heart
man.
used to break for her when the kids went off with Peter and they left Nana there, like tied to a rope. And I was like, oh, remember the dog?
Oh, I love that. All right, Steph.
Yes.
Next segment's on you, girlfriend.
All right, so pulling the train into the station, as Pete would say. We have had a fabulous night tonight, and here are some of the highlights. Tonight, we learned many interesting things about our special guest, Julie McCowan. She shared about her Disney journey and her childhood memories and all of her family that was involved. We got to see a snapshot of what her experience was like in the military, and we also want to publicly thank Julie right now and her husband for both serving our country. We appreciate that in the military. We also learned about the channel Dis and That and how that was your first entry into this Disney community. And because of their friendly and positive content that help you set aside your pressures from responsibilities in your career, which have to be humongous, and as well as the channel introducing you to other content creators such as Pete McDevitt, right? And lots of the others that we love in this community. So if this show impressed you the way it did us, please take a moment right now to leave a comment. Your words mean so much to us and they help others feel the joy that we have shared here tonight. I do want to say hello to James J.D. Pridge. He has joined us in the chat. And I'm going to hand it over to Jen to talk about what's going on next week.
Yeah, this week was so awesome, but next week we're actually going to be off due to it being Father's Day. But in 2 weeks, we will have a guest who is a staple in the Disney YouTube chats and a creator in his own right. His own military experience, along with his volunteerism, supporting veterans through his love of the Cincinnati Reds, is to be admired. His channel is your go-to source for all the best events and happenings in the Cincinnati area. And who can forget the knowledge and connection he has for everything Disney cruising? Joining us in 2 weeks is none other than It's Me, David T. And I'm sure we're going to get lots and lots of cruising information, just all the cruising information you could ever want, straight from his daughter, straight from a ship. So looking forward to that in 2 weeks. So next week, Father's Day, taking the week off. Some of us will be traveling that day. We'll be back in 2 weeks for that. We're going to go ahead and start closing this up. We want to thank Julie so much for being here, for finally putting your face in the Disney community. We love it. I hope this isn't the last time that we will see you here. What I want to do also is highlight the Triple C Instagram. Go ahead and make sure, if you're not following the Triple C on Instagram, you want to make sure you do that. We post updates for the shows, and Stephanie was posting stuff this week also. So go ahead and make sure you check that out. Also, all of our podcasts, these shows are listed as podcasts on Pete's YouTube page. So go ahead to the podcast tab and you will find everyone there, along with the other shows. And one other thing, Insomniacs, I want to mention that Pete will be going live tonight at 10:45 for the normal Sunday night Insomniac show. He's going to be doing just a quick trip recap of the things that he's done over the past few days. So make sure you come back 10:45 tonight and see what Pete has to say. So we're going to go around and do our final thought of the night. So let's start with us ladies, and then we'll have Julie give her final thought. So Tina, go ahead, give your final thought of the night.
Another great interview. Julie, thank you for staying down with us. I'm so glad I get to be here and hear what you guys every week. And your stories are just absolutely incredible. I love the military story and some of the background that you gave us even backstage before the show started on some personal things. I just love this show and what it embodies, and it's so community driven, and I love that. Know that you are loved. This is to everybody. Same message I give. Know that that's the wrong one, but know that you are loved and that you're appreciated by everyone. If anyone's struggling through anything, talk to someone, or like I always say on my own channel, pray it out. You might get an answer to prayer. And be kind to everyone, because you don't know who's going through a battle that you know nothing about.
Very good. Stephanie?
And so also, thank you so much for being with us tonight and spending time with us and taking time to read these questions and answer them for us. I know everybody out in YouTube land is enjoying learning more about you, and you're so beautiful. I just have to say, your skin is like perfect. So, and if my hair would look that good, I'd let it grow out, but we'll have to wait and see. I might have to wait till I'm a little bit. I'm scared too, but it looks great on you. If I could do a thing, I would do it in a second.
Yeah.
It's awesome. You've got great hair. And I was also thinking when you were talking about when you went to Disneyland, and it wasn't quite as fun because, when you have to do kid stuff, but we should all take a girl trip, because I know I think we mentioned this like a year or maybe two ago in chat one time. I think it was like Jen and you and I were like, we should take a girl trip. So, hey, we should do this. I know we say things, but we we should do it.
The girl thing to do. We should do this, and then years pass and it never gets done.
I know, but for real. So,
all right.
I 100% would do it.
Okay, I'm in charge. If we don't go, it's my fault then, right? Okay. Pressure's on. Okay. I'll email people. Okay. But thank you so much again. And I look forward to seeing you around Disney.
My pleasure.
Yep.
Awesome. I just want to say thank you for being on screen. This is awesome. I mean, you are so funny with the comments that you throw in during Doug's coffee talk. The disclaimers and Bobby and Steve and all of the fun things over there. I'm so glad we finally had a chance to sit down and get to know you a little bit better. I want to take a moment and say thank you to Stephanie, who wrote tonight's show. So thank you for putting in that effort. It was another great Triple C show. Number 90, episode 90. I mentioned that at the beginning. 10 more. We will be at episode 100. That's amazing. So with that thought, I just want to say thank you to all of our watchers, the people in the chat, the chatters, the people at home just watching and not chatting. Those are our ninja watchers. Without you guys, we wouldn't have a show. So thank you so much for your support week after week for 90 weeks now. So we really appreciate that. And we really appreciate all of you. So again, reminder that Pete will be going live tonight at 10:45 with Insomniacs. Right now, though, 7 o'clock, Zippity Doo Dug is going live from the parks. You guys can all just sit tight because this stream is going to dump you right into his stream. If one of the mods want to drop that link, though, that would be great. Oh, Debbie already did it. Thank you, Debbie. Go over and show some support for Doug. Everybody loves Doug and his coffee talk. He's a great supporter of the community, great content creator. Stop by even just for a few minutes, give him a like, and say hi. And on that note, I guess we're gonna just end this tonight with a big giant thank you. And we'll see you guys in 2 weeks. So we hope everyone has a great night, great 2 weeks, and we'll see you then. Good night, everyone.
Bye.
You got a smile that makes the sun rise.